It's my pleasure and honor to introduce one of our former parishioners, a parishioner from Arkansas, Catherine Phillips. And she's just going to tell her story of what it's like to be the recipient of a Glenmary missioner coming to serve you. Catherine, please come up. Thank you.
I'm so happy to be with you tonight to celebrate with you. As you all know, the Glenmary Home Missioners go out to serve in mission territory where priests are few and resources are stretched thin. And Glenmary nurtures and grows a parish with a goal in mind to eventually return it or turn it over to the pastoral care of its home diocese. Father Steve described for you how Glenmary's work begins in a community. I'd like to tell you the rest of the story. My parish, Our Lady of the Assumption in Boonville, Arkansas, was really small back in 2006. We had about 20 children, but 5 of them were mine. So that summer, I had planned a vacation Bible school for us, but what I didn't realize was that I had scheduled it to begin on the very week that our first resident pastor, a Glenmary Home Missioner, was scheduled to arrive. And so there I was on a hot July afternoon in 2006, waiting in the parking lot to greet our new priest. "Hello, Father," I began. "My name's Catherine Phillips, and by the way, I've planned a vacation Bible school, which starts in the morning." Immediately, this new Glenmary pastor won my heart. "Well done," he said. Father Don Tranel's response to me that afternoon set the tone for Glenmary's ministry in our parish. The first task was to build up our struggling community, and he began by thanking the parishioners of Our Lady of the Assumption Church for their hard work. His affirmation, "Well done," allowed us to celebrate all that we had accomplished rather than focus on what we lacked. And this empowered our parish and encouraged our parishioners to become more active by acknowledging our sweat equity. And in this way, he breathed new life into us, and he kindled in us the desire to be church. In the rural area of Arkansas where I live, less than 0.5% are Catholics. And so it's not uncommon for a concerned friend to ask, "Have you been saved?" There's a lot of misconception about our Catholic faith, and we Catholics felt misunderstood and pretty much kept to ourselves. But Glenmary is really good at building community, and pretty soon we were building a Habitat for Humanity house. We were swinging hammers alongside the Lutherans, the Baptists, and people from the Assembly of God Church. This was only the first of many joint community service projects. We became leaders in our community, and we worked with the Ministerial Alliance, which was a group of about 15 local pastors, to promote cooperation and to encourage understanding. This cooperation increased the awareness of our parish, and new people started coming to our church, and people who hadn't come regularly started coming back. Once again, Glenmary's strengths helped us because, as Father Dan told us earlier tonight before dinner, Glenmary welcomes everyone. So Father Don encouraged us by his example to open our hearts and to move over in our pews to make room for many. By 2008, we had grown, and on Sundays there were over 100 people who attended Mass. This was great, except for the seating capacity of our small church was only 84. So we were thriving, and it was time to build a new church. And Glenmary encouraged us to dream big dreams. Pretty soon, a great building plan took shape. But then disaster struck our community. On Easter Sunday, after a beautiful but jam-packed celebration of the Eucharist, a fire destroyed the meatpacking facility in our community. Explosions were rocking our town. This plant was the town's largest employer, and over 800 people lost their jobs that day. But Glenmary responded in our hour of need. Father Don acted immediately to secure over $19,000 in relief aid from Glenmary, from Arkansas Catholic Charities, and from private donors. We were challenged in new ways to reach out to our community. The Ministerial Alliance started a resource center, and we helped our neighbors with groceries, with rent, with utilities, until they could find new jobs and get back on their feet again. We grieved together as families moved away. In all, over the next 2 years, our town's population dropped by almost 1,000 people. Honestly, during that time, many of us just gave up on the dream of a new church. There didn't seem to be much reason to build. But Glenmary's support and encouragement never wavered. The Department of Pastoral Services blessed us with several grants, which allowed our youth ministry to travel to the National Catholic Youth Conference, and it funded a variety of other youth activities, like our mission trips to Mississippi. Our youth ministry just kept growing, and it attracted new families. People kept coming to inquire about our CIA. Glenmary was there for us to celebrate the sacraments, to mark the rites of passage. And pretty soon, we realized that although our town had experienced setbacks, our church was still growing. And with Christ at the center, we could pull together and we could make it through the tough times. We were challenged to develop a new vision and to move beyond what we had never before thought possible. And so I suppose Glenmary looked at us once again and said, "Well done." Glenmary had nurtured us and helped us to grow. Developmentally, spiritually, financially, ecumenically, we were all grown up. And it was time for us to be returned to the pastoral care of our home diocese. So with sadness, but with profound gratitude and joy, we said goodbye to the Glenmary Home Missioners on another hot summer afternoon in 2012. And Glenmary celebrated the fulfillment of our dreams by moving on to another community where there's greater need, like Granger County, Tennessee. At Our Lady of the Assumption, we continue to flourish. We welcomed our first diocesan pastor, and in less than 2 years, we dedicated our beautiful new 5,000 square foot church. Thank you. The impact of the Glenmary Home Missioners on our community is permanent and huge. Our parish is still growing. We imagine great things for our future. Our parishioners feel connected to the larger church. Our liturgies are vibrant. Our town knows that the Catholics are the people who walk the talk and are there to serve those in need. In Boonville, we are privileged to be a holy people, to be church, and to carry on the Glenmary mission. And so on behalf of my community, I'd like to say one thing to the Glenmary Home Missioners. Well done. Well done. Thank you.